What up, guys? Here we are. We're getting the podcast in. We've had to do this one a bit later than per usual, but we're getting it done, man. We're here for the people, so you guys better thank us, man.
Yeah, I think just trying to figure out how we can do it so the turnaround can be quicker. Because at the moment we're filming on the Sunday and it's not coming out till Thursday. Yeah. And by the time it comes out till Thursday, so much is because we're in the motherfucker of April. It's been a kind of a month. Well, it's just by the time we get to Thursday, we're like already behind on the news. So when we're breaking the news out, you know, something else has already happened. Yeah. So just trying to figure out how we can do it quicker. And I feel like if we film on the Sunday, I want to try and push for it so it's out on the Monday. Yeah. If we for example, if we have to go back to Wednesday, I want it out the next day. Yeah,
I feel you.
Next day the latest because
like
at the
a
moment,
24-hour turnaround.
Yeah.
And that's on the Rico, man. Yeah. But I'm loving it as it is, man. I hope everyone's enjoying it. If you guys got any feedback, send it our way, man. Any questions that we always ask. We've got the Instagram, Facebook. Guys, send us a message there and we'd love to answer any questions. Yep.
So, man, what a weekend!
Yeah, big week. Well, big week.
We're week, yeah.
Because now we're turning into weeks now, aren't we? Really, we got like we said, Wednesday, one championship. I'm talking American time. I talk Australian terms. Thursday, one championship. Saturday Bellator, Sunday UFC. So they're just stacked cards. I just spent my whole weekend watching MMA, man. And I've got no complaints. Then we also had the circus on Sunday as well, which was is it Thriller they call it Triller. Is it actually Triller?
Yeah, Triller. It's just TR. I don't know.
Apparently Oscar De La Hoya was racking up during the. No, that's what it must be saying.
Have you seen the footage?
No, I haven't seen much of it, but I heard that he was making some terrible calls, comments.
Yeah, I think it was during the broadcast. He jumped on and he was just like a million miles an hour, just swearing.
Yeah.
I'm like,
dude. Well, apparently there was comments made during was it the Jake Paul Ben Askren fight? This is the fight of the century. I was like, so I heard that today on another podcast, and I was like, what? Like, you mean like the most embarrassing fight of the century? Like, it's what it is. Like, should we start with that then?
Yeah,
we're on it. Yeah. Oh, well, let's start with that so we can get it done over and quickly. Because that's what it really was. It was done over and quickly. Ben Askren, you let us down, man. You're a fucking asshole. I'm never... You know what? And I'm going to come out and say it here now, Rick. I've got faith in nobody. No one but the Spartan. That's the only person I believe in. Everyone else is a sellout and a rat. I can't stand you because you constantly make me look like a dickhead, man.
I had tipped Ben Askren as well. But you know what? On the weekend, I caught up with Lee at our Latino night that we do. And I asked Lee, I'm like, who do you think's going to win? And he's like, bro... Ben Askren's going to get sparked early.
Yeah. You know what, man? I was watching all the footage, not all of it, sorry, but a lot of footage of Ben Askren and then Jake Paul and on the pads. And I was just like, man, I just can't see how Ben Askren's going to win this. But, like, as an MMA guy, I got to back my guy, man. Like, we look out for each other. And I was just like, deep down, I was like, I just can't see this guy winning, man. But
and as a guy, you're a pro yourself. The calls are saying that this is rigged.
Yeah, no, I look, you never know. You never ever know. I personally think when you say it was rigged in terms of he got hit and he was like, I don't really give a fuck. Like, I don't care. I walked out there with my guard. I don't think he even trained. I don't know how you can be a professional MMA fighter, a championship, like a champion for one champion for Bellator, you know, and possibly have zero guard, like, and zero ability. Like, I don't understand that. I just think Ben Askren is that martial artist, and guys, if you're not in the game, probably wouldn't understand this, but some martial arts guys purely only stick to their style. And he was obviously a wrestler who only ever wrestled. And then when he got this fight, he was like, man, I don't really care. I'm just going to do a bit of boxing training, nothing special. And it showed, man. Like, you know, like no offense, Jake Paul's okay, but like you shouldn't knock him out in a minute, man. Like, I don't care. Like, even you, I'd back you to get in there for more than a minute, man. Yeah. You know, and I don't know. Ben Askren, he's happy, he got his money. That's all he gave a fuck about.
Yeah. I think it was more so for the payday for him. Yeah. He I heard that he did some coaching with Freddie Roach, and even Freddie Roach had him.
But then I heard a podcast about from George St. Pierre that apparently he was only there for a couple of days. He only went there for a couple of days.
So how much can you really learn?
Yeah, you know, and you know what I mean. But then there was comments like, you know, that, and then I heard Freddie Roach said he's going to beat him, he's going to embarrass him. But I think maybe that's probably just Ben Askren saying, hey, man, if anyone asks, just tell them this. Because let's be honest, guys, we live in a world where anyone can... Like, I even seen a thing today that... Who was it? Someone... Dylan Dennis apparently reckons that he could beat Francis Ngannou in a street fight. Like, you know, we can just... But that's the thing with the internet. We can say whatever we want and get away with it. Eventually, we're going to have to answer the call, man. We're going to have to answer the call. And that's when you see the real best guys in the world do what they got to do. So, like, come on. Like, who in their right mind... Like, even... Like, there's no way I could... It's Francis Ngannou... When me got into a street fight, I would fucking run as fast as I could, man.
Oh, I don't think even any of the current UFC champions.
Yeah, even any heavyweight in the world, I don't think would want to go.
The only
one
you probably give a shot is John Jones.
Yeah,
but
you know, and even there,
any lower than that,
this guy's John Jones essentially is invincible. Like he's one of the greatest I've ever done, and even people are like, I don't know if you can do it, man. Like, are you sure? And then you got an idiot like Dylan Dennis. So like I said on the internet, you can say and do whatever you want, man, and get away with it. So
I feel like I think there should be that needs to change because it's across the board. You know, like
accountability.
Yeah, people can just get away with anything they say, and you know, and you know, you've got to remember that these athletes, you know, they've got families and they've got kids that you know that see these things.
Yeah,
and I feel like people should be held accountable, man, for what they say. It's you know, yes, you know, if you're copping it, I think you should turn a blind eye to it, cop it, take it with a grain of salt. What it is, you know, these are just literally trolls.
Yeah,
but at the same time, you know. It's not the person themselves, it's the family that got it. It's the kids that are taking that on. And
but look, let's be honest, we're never going to be able to stop this. But what we need to do is just as like you said, as family members and also people who do want to get famous and get the blue tick and be Instagram, you know, popular. You do have to realise it comes with a lot of bad things as well. It's not just all straight shot. Like
you had your first hater. Like
but I've had many haters over the time, you know. But I've got a guy that from Italy who, you know, constantly tells me how he's going to bang my missus. Eddie Alvarez is going to knock me out. And like at the end of the day, like that's what I do. Exactly what you did is I just laugh it off. I'm like, okay, like cool, man. Hey, like seriously, and I'm not going to lie, I'm not saying this to be positive or anything, but like I take it as the biggest compliment ever. Like you are a guy from Italy. You made a fake account just to come at me, bro. Like seriously, dude. Thank you, man. Like fuck, man. I made it. Yeah. You know, that's how you got to see it. Yeah. That's what I mean. And even my missus, I won't lie, at least she gets a bit upset. Like, oh, you know, how dare he says that about me. I said, at least, what do you care?
Yeah.
Who cares what that guy says? Like, you know, I'm sure there's people that say it all the time. Now there's just, you can make fake accounts and do it behind a, you know, unless he brings his face and he comes and steps up to me and says it, well, then I'll deal with it then. But till then, bro, I'll just laugh it off, man, you know. So,
going back to the fight, did you watch it?
I'm not going to lie, I didn't watch it because I'm a purist of the sport, and with the purist of the sport, I don't watch things like that. So I didn't watch it. I only seen a highlight. I seen the bits and pieces of the Frank Mir fight, because I like Frank Mir. He's an MMA guy, and in the guy that he fought, I don't remember his name, but he's a decent boxer apparently. Yeah. He is but even Frank Mir, you know, he looked to me like a pregnant woman moving around the kitchen. You know what I mean? Like it was embarrassing to watch. I think he did a good job, and he probably got paid well, but. You know, come on, man. He doesn't belong on a massive show like that. Boxing, you know. And he gave away, and also the guy who gave away 100 pounds, Frank Mir, was heavier. Yeah. And Frank Mir still couldn't even beat the guy. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I wouldn't call this a really, you know, boxing event. It was a show. It was a circus show. Yeah. Because
entertainment event.
Yeah. Because they had Justin Bieber. They had all these celebrities performing. Mm-hmm. Snoop Dogg was commentating. Yeah. Commentating. Sorry. Yeah, it's a massive circus show. And at the end of the day, I think all of these celebrities I heard have an investment that's in it, so that's why they're there.
Well, you know what essentially it is? I just thought of this now. Remember back in the day, celebrity boxing, they used to do the cartoon character. Now it's real life.
Yeah, it's real life.
Now we're getting real life celebrities to fight each other. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. But my only concern here and why I get annoyed with this whole show is because they try to say things like, we're the match of the century and this is the big deal. Jake Paul's the next big thing. And I'm like... You know, and I wanted to touch on this when we spoke about this event. What Jake Paul is doing is no different to what any other boxer in the world is done. All he's doing is on a far more expensive and better promotion than anyone. Any boxer who's made it through the ranks, they always fight bums like this. They pick a guy who they know can't fight. A lot of boxers will fight us MMA guys and Muay Thai guys because they know that we're not exactly making much money. And on top of that, we're also like, we're game. We'll fight anyone. We don't care. We'll just jump in and have a scrap. So boxers have been this since the beginning. Mike Tyson's, Floyd Mayweather's, all these guys. You go look at all their early records, like I've said many times on this show, and Jake Paul's doing the best job at it. He's just the smartest guy ever, and he's got heaps of money backing him. So he's doing a great job. So I think he's, if he keeps working his way up, who's to say that he can't go and potentially have a shot at a world title? So long as he stays in his lane. Yeah. Don't go and do what you do. That's what I like about the brothers, is they're very intelligent in terms of they know what to say and they know what to do. They'll call out Floyd Mayweather, then Conor McGregor, and they know they'll never fight him. They know they're contracted and they can't get in and fight him. Yeah. So they'll get the notoriety of calling him out, but they'll never have to fight Conor. Yeah. And maybe 10 years down the track he might fight Conor when Conor's old and grey, and then maybe beat him. But you'll never beat him today. Yeah. Like if you had to fight a real fighter like Floyd and Conor, they would kill you. These guys. These guys are trained assassins. They're not Ben Askrens. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was watching the Brendan Shaw podcast, and he said, because I do remember when last week Jake Paul said that he had early signs of CTE, and then everybody was like,
that's too much rack, son. That's got nothing to do.
Not only that, the commissions aren't going to sanction you for a fight.
Yeah.
Because if they say, this guy's already losing it.
Yeah. And another thing is CT, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure things like CT and stuff, like, you need to open the brain up and examine it.
Exactly.
There's no test that tells you if you've got CT.
So I think that was him trying to tap into the boxing world and trying to get a little bit of sympathy from people. But it's not.
Look, you got to remember, he's going to have a huge team around him. He's going to have PR. This is an organisation.
When he said that in an interview, they retracted the statement straight away. So he put it up.
I did see that. I did see that there was, but he would have the right people around him. Like he would have proper managers and that saying, say this, do that. It's just like the political game. You know what I mean? They know what to say. They know how to advertise, and he's just doing a really good job, man. He's brought social media to the fighting world, and he got good on him. He's going to make probably oodles of money, him and his brother, But the events are horrible. And just quickly, I want to say, I watched bits and pieces of the Frank Mir fight, and the production was horrible. Horrible. They were recording at one point, all you could see was the ropes. Yeah. And just the head moving. And I'm thinking, what angle is this? Yeah.
They try to do something different. Like just stick to the traditional stuff because they know what works. Yeah. So just leave it because that works. Yeah. Yeah. Because when I was watching the Ben Askren fight after the over 35s game, the camera was moving and I'm like, I can't see anything, man. Like, change this fucking angle so I can see the fight. So it was, the production was all over the place. And you had Snoop Dogg yelling over the commentators and this and that. Was
like I said, I didn't really listen to it and watch it because I don't want to. I don't care for that stuff. But like I said, I spent my whole weekend watching so many fights, and the last thing I want to do is watch that joke of a fight. Yeah. So,
but imagine being Ben Askren now.
Yeah, well, he's got $500,000 in the bank. What does he care?
$1 million, because apparently he got guaranteed the 500. But then the pay-per-view points, he gets some of.
There you go. Well. So he got what he wanted out of it. He was never going to have a boxing career. His MMA days are over. He was like, okay, I get $1 million for a minute's work. I'll go do it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Now you're going on the street and you're like, there's that bum that lost to the other bum.
Okay, exactly. But he's already been called. Everyone's already still laughing at him from the Masvidal thing. You know what I mean? He probably just doesn't care. He just probably walks around. And the real sad thing about this, I think, is not that Ben Askren got knocked out. That MMA fighters are that underpaid that they have to take embarrassing fights like this, get embarrassingly knocked out, and see the Ben Askren. He's like, I don't really care, man, because he said openly on many interviews, I was paid more in this whole fight than I've ever been paid in my career. There's even, he said, I think before his UFC days, combined, he didn't even get the money of all his fights combined. Didn't equal this one fight. So the real issue here is why MMA fighters not getting paid more money? There's clearly a lot of money involved in these sports.
Well, Corey Anderson came out yesterday or today saying that in his last two Bellator fights,
I've seen that. Yeah. He's fought twice now.
His last two Bellator fights, he's made more money than his all other fights in every other promotion. He's made the same than what he's done in 11 years in 2 fights.
It's sad, man. And that's the real sad thing about the MMA world, is that the MMA guys are getting exploited because, a lot of them are broke. Because a lot of them, if they were like Conor, they would laugh at these people and say, you think you're tough? Well, come meet me over here in the MMA world. Like, bro, I've already got $100 million. You can't offer, $50 million that they offered, isn't that what Logan Paul offered Conor?
Yeah.
$50 million. See, most MMA guys would fucking dive in at that. Conor laughed it off, man. He's like, bro, I don't want your 50 million. I've already got heaps. You know, where most guys are doing like, man, I don't even care if I give away £100. Like, I'll fight him for 50 mil. I need it, bro. Like, I'm working a second job. Like, $50 million would set my life up. So that's what I really want to stress there is the point that us guys are getting ripped off so bad, man, that we just then have to make fools of ourselves just to get to make.
Well, if even that, you know, if you're getting paid well, you know, be like, all right, I'll come fight you, but I'll come to your fucking gym and spark you up for free.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. If a guy like that was like, if we're already fighting for millions, and Dylan Dennis said to Francis Ngannou, I'm going to beat Francis Ngannou, would get on his private jet, fly to him, knock on his door and be like, hey, man, you said something about beating me up. Like, come out here. Like, beat me up now in front of everyone. But, you know, those guys, they're not making that sort of money. And so, you know, and that's why they're saying such dumb comments like that as well, because they want to get paid, man. Everyone just wants to make money. Like, Dylan Dennis is pushing hard for the fight, the Jake Paul fight. Everyone just wants to get paid. Everyone just wants to get rich, man. And, you know, and it's sad. But, hey, moving on, we won't get too much in that. We'll move on to the I guess the real fights, we'll call them. Yeah. What do you want to start with?
One.
We'll start with the one championship. So we had, if you want to bring up the card, we had the main event. I'll start on the main event because I remember that. I watched it. That's my belt that they're fighting for. So I'm coming for that belt. And you had Christian Lee, who's been the long time, well, not long time, but he's held the belt for a while, defended his belt against probably one of the most scariest guys in the division, Timothy Nasution. And I said Christian Lee, I think, would have what it takes to beat him. I personally thought he was going to probably push for like a third or fourth round finish, maybe a decision. But, man, credit to Christian Lee, man. He fucking TKO'd him, knocked him out, man. And really used Nasution's greatest power as his weakest link. Mm-hmm. You know, he throws heavy, big shots. And when he does, man, he opens himself up very wide. And I think what Christian Lee has that a lot of people don't realise, I think his family, I think particularly probably I think it's his father who's his main coach. I think he's a really good tactician. His dad really understands the MMA game, and he really gives his son a really strong game plan how to beat most guys. He understands the game really well, and it showed in that fight there, man, the way he went in for shots early on, but never really committed to him, and he got Nasution thinking about that, and as soon as Nasution threw a big shot, he caught him with a left hook, and even when he hit that left hook, he rolled straight into a double leg. And as he grabbed the double leg, he let go because he realised he had Nasution hurt and just drove her home and ended up winning the fight. And to me, it was a flawless effort. Well done by Christian Lee, a good win. Moving on. Then you had Janet Todd against Hogstad. Yeah. And Janet Todd, man, she's class. Like she's. Did you watch any of these fights? No. I've got to stick it. I'm doing all the talking here. I'm like, I don't want to get it. Well, I watched all of them. Janet Todd. She's class, man. Like, seriously, she is a really good fighter. My missus actually got slightly upset at me because I was going through her Instagram. And at least she's like, I was like, get out of here. I'm not attracted to her. I just think she's a good fighter, man. Yeah. So she's really good, man, like that Janet Todd. And she's going, that was a K1 fight, but she won in the third round TKO. But she's also pushing for the Muay Thai title. So that was Muay Thai. Sorry. Yeah, but now she's pushing. No. Does she have the Muay Thai? She's going for the K1. I think she's doing that. Yeah, she's already got the belt, I think, and she's trying to go for the other one now. And either way, she's got one belt and she's going for the other belt in the other style. And then you had the Mongolian
Soltsetsek.
Yeah, Soltsetsek versus
Nakahara,
which is a really good fight, man. If you get a chance, watch that fight. Very explosive fight. But then Soltsek, the Mongolian, I don't know what happened there. One championship they're gonna be called the bad boys of MMA soon because Soltsek ended up getting disqualified. He was caught in a heel hook position. There was probably like 10 seconds to go, and he jumped up and just kicked the guy in the face for no reason. And I was just like, what are you doing? And I was thinking, one championship must be sitting there going, fuck, we really got to tell these guys the rules, man. Like, what are these idiots doing? All get disqualified. Then you had. We watched that fight together, the Kim Kyu-sung
versus Wang Shuai.
When we watched that one,
the one with the
elbows, and then Wang, we'll just call him Wang. He ended up winning third round TKO.
Round 3 knockout.
Yeah, knockout. He ended up getting, and then the first fight was the
Jamale and Kamikubo.
And Kamikubo, he won, didn't he?
Yep.
That was just he really just pounded him out. It was one-way traffic, that fight. It was a relatively good card. I thought there were some good fights. I thought the Mongolian and the Japanese would have had that was a really good fight. I was excited to watch that, and it started off really well, but then unfortunately finished with a disqualification, which was unfortunate. And like I said, Janet Toll was his class. She was just too good as per usual. And then Christian Lee. So all credit to Christian Lee, young guy, man, young champion, only 22, and he's performing, man. But hopefully Chatri and the guys that won championship can get me a shot at him, man. I'd love a shot at Christian. I respect him a lot, and I'd love to fight him. Moving on, we'll move on to the Bellators. Did you watch any of this?
I watched...
You're killing me, Rick.
No, I didn't. I didn't watch this one.
Yeah, that's because you got soccer on Saturday. But shout out to the Pitbulls.
Another
clean sweep.
Another clean sweep weekend.
But we had only one goal conceded.
One goal conceded.
But how many goals did we kick?
So
C's 12.
C's 12. Got myself a double.
Yeah. Oh, Vic got one.
Did he?
He said yeah.
He got one. The reserves won 4-1.
16.
And then the seniors won 4-0. I think it was 5-1. 5-1 or 6-1. I can't remember when the reserves were, but...
What, so 20 plus goals?
Yeah.
Not a bad
and
weekend.
And then the 35s won 5-0.
Fucking hell.
So
People, hey, guys out there, if you live in Adelaide and you want a soccer club to train at, get on the Pitbulls, man. They look the part and they play the part too. Some good goals too. The A's that kid, he cut it back and then he swung it around the keeper.
Yeah, Scotty.
That was a nice goal, man. I'll give him that.
Scotty Williams, mate.
Yeah, I rocked up and just seen the end of that.
Yeah.
Moving on, so yeah, we've got Bellator. Nenkov fought Phil Davis in the main event for the Grand Prix for round 1 still, essentially, for the Grand Prix.
I heard this wasn't that entertaining.
Yeah, pretty boring fight, man. Nenkov was good with his hands early on, and Phil Davis just, I think that a lot of people thought he was going to... And what Phil Davis does best is wrestle, man. He loves to wrestle, loves to make it a sort of a scrappy fight and wear on his opponents, and he did none of that. He just sort of stood behind Nemkov's jab, and Nemkov was doing a real good job, lifting his chin with his jab and then throwing the right hand behind it. And he ended up winning a 5-round decision. Pretty boring fight, not gonna lie. Then you had Corey Anderson, who's the ex-UFC guy, fight
Yagshimuradov.
And that was a good fight, man. Round 1, Yagshimuradov, he threw a spinning heel kick, caught Corey Anderson, wobbled him a bit. But once Corey sort of was able to get his wrestling started, heavy ground and pound, really smooth in the ground, really good to watch that fight. If you like MMA. If you're an MMA fan, go and watch it, man, because good wrestling, good ground and pound.
I saw footage on the Instagram, him yelling ground and pound, baby. Or
he
was losing it over the ground and pound.
So now Corey Anderson looks really good over there, really comfortable at Bellator. So now he progresses. And who's fighting? Who's fighting who now?
Let me check. But I'm pretty sure now it's Nemkov, Corey Anderson. And then on the other end...
The only fight we're waiting on now is Rumble versus Yoel, which is this week. This week, yeah?
Yeah.
Is it this week? The 7th? No, 7th of May, aren't they fighting?
Oh, yeah. So it's a couple of weeks now.
So in a week's time. That's going to be a fight, man. That is seriously going to... That's like Kong versus Godzilla, man.
Now, but this is what happens in these fights. It turns out to be a ball fest because they both respect each other's power.
Or are they? But you know what I mean? Rumble, you see... Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Because you got to remember when Ngannou fought Derek Lewis.
Derek Lewis, same thing. I know what you're saying.
You were expecting fireworks, and it was the complete opposite.
But then again, you know what I mean? Are they on deals, maybe on their contracts, they're like, hey guys, if you're not going to cut, then give us something to perform. We're not going to re-sign you. So who knows? I don't know. Something to think about.
Okay, so no, it's the other way around. It's Ryan Bader versus Corey Anderson. And then Nemkov is waiting for Johnson and Romero.
Oh man, that is such a good
That semi is huge, man.
Yeah, but that whole thing, the Grand Prix is so good, man. I love that, man. Look at those names, look at those fights. Like Corey Anderson versus Ryan Bader, they used to train together, old training partners. So that's going to be a cool fight. And then I mean, Yoel versus Rumble is in a sick fight, and then they go straight to the champion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So and Nemkov, you can't knock him. He's doing a great job at Bellator. He's kicking ass, man. He's looking really good.
The way it's set up now, it's set up for an awesome semi, and it's going to set up for a massive final, man.
Yeah. So interesting.
Yeah,
wait and see.
Can't wait for that. Going back to the Bellator, you had Veda Arteaga versus Desiree Yanez.
I didn't see that fight.
I didn't catch it. And then Paul Daly versus Sabah Homasi.
Oh, man. And by the way, just a quick one, guys. If you're in Australia, download the 10 Play Network, make an account, and you can watch Bellator for free. I don't know if it's live, but you can watch it for free.
But at least you can watch it.
Yeah, you can watch the replays and stuff. So, yeah, download that if you want. If you like to watch Bellator. That was a fight, man. Fuck, man. Paul Daly is possibly one of the most entertaining fighters I've ever seen fight in MMA, man. He is just so dangerous, man. He's had, I think, over 60 fights now. And he's fought he's fought the who's who. Was in the UFC, got kicked out because he hit Koscheck after a fight. That was a good fight, man. Homasi came out, man, and put the pressure on him hard. Knocked Paul Daly down, was fucking rattling it. You thought Paul Daly was finished, man. Somehow he got out of it late in the first. He landed some big knees, some big shots, dropped Homasi. They came out for the second, and Paul Daly just never stopped, came straight back at him, knocked him down again, and just finished him off. So
you sent a video. Bellator put up the after on his walk back to his change room, and it's just the way the relationship they have between the fighter and coach. And then after
just
the
way
fight,
they broke it down.
Yeah, and they're in the bars because they got the win. But like, man, I've never been knocked down. I've been knocked down once in my life.
But that's one thing that's what I liked about it the most. The way that they, usually come, fuck yeah, I won. They were just, having a chat like, oh man, it was just like, I'll be punching every weekend. Like, he knocked me down. I was big, I'll give him respect for that, and they were just having that good conversation. Then the coach sort of gave him why he got knocked, he got caught with those shots, and I was like, wow, man, that's a really cool insight. I have to say, I really enjoyed listening to that.
Yeah, that was when you sent that, I'm like, that's really cool. That for one, Bellator put it up. Because you don't see that enough. Yeah. Like, that's what mixed martial arts is. That's what sports is. That's, the relationship between the player or the fighter and the coach. You want to see that. That's why, like, when Prime, Amazon Prime or Netflix put out these documentaries on the inside, that's why it's so interesting. Because you don't see it. And the insight into that, the fight, after the fight, the talk, the back and forth, he nearly had me. I got to give it to him. I've only been knocked down twice in my life, and and I thought I was done. And
I really enjoyed hearing that, like, those two talk amongst each other, break the fight, and even the point where they went out there, man. Like I just said, these two, he knocked him out in the end. Paul Daly got the knockout, and the way he said it, nothing but respect to the guy, man, and that's what mixed martial arts is all about. We go out there, we try and kill each other, man, but at the same time, respect and love one another. Just go down because I want to have on the undercard. There was some fights that I watched as well.
So you got Julia Budd.
I didn't watch that.
Silva. So Julia Budd got a
she
decision
used to
win.
be the champion.
Split decision win. You got Julius Anglicus versus Gregory Milliard.
Didn't watch that one either.
Steve Mowry defeated Sean Asher.
Yeah, just a quick one. So Steve Mowry fought Sean Asher. Finished that within under a minute. Steve is a beast. That moves him to 9-0, I'm pretty sure, in the heavyweight division. So, guys, keep an eye out for Steve Mowry, he's just on a tear, man. Like I said, 9-0, 6'8". Probably one of the scariest white guys you've ever seen in your life. I want to say white guy. Usually white guys aren't that scary, man.
You're like, because then if you go black, then you got
Francis
Ngannou. You can't compare.
But he's a big boy, man. Like, I'd love to see how far Steve can go, and if Steve can make himself a really cool career, he's the sort of guy who could potentially go up and fight a guy like Francis Ngannou. So that'd be cool to see. So well done, Steve, big Uncle Steve.
Then you got Grashik Bozinian defeated your boy DeMarcus Jackson.
Yeah, we're spewing about that. My boy is my guy. I love him. Much respect to Marquez. Unfortunately, fell short. Really good fight, man. Really entertaining, back and forth. Marquez had his back late in the last. I really thought he could have maybe hooked up that rear naked, but unfortunately he couldn't. It was a close fight, man. I could have seen it going either way. But unfortunately, it went the way of the other guy, so that was unfortunate. But Marquez will be back, bigger, better, and stronger.
You got Raymond Daniels defeated Peter Stanonik.
I didn't see that, but apparently there was a rematch from the nut shot that they fought a while ago, and he couldn't continue the other guy, so he lost that. Raymond won that fight, yeah?
Yeah.
Yep.
Lance Gibson Jr. versus Marcus Surin. Carl Albrechtsen defeated Victor Nemkov.
Yeah, that was Nemkov's brother, man. Certainly not as good as his older. I think he's the young Victor. What's the name? Vitaly. No, who's the one? Vladimir. Vadim Nemkov, sorry, the champion. I think he's the little brother, and as history tells, the little brother's always the best at everything.
Mads Burnell defeated Sol Rogers.
Yeah, that's another good friend of mine, Sol Rogers. Unfortunately, got submitted, but he fought well, man. It was a really good fight. He went to his wrestling, which Sol's really good at. But unfortunately, this Burnell was just steps ahead in jiu-jitsu and ended up getting the submission finish on Sol Rogers. And then the last, who was
the last one was J.J. Wilson defeated Pedro Carvalho.
Yeah, J.J. Wilson, he's good, man. He's from, I think he's from New Zealand. And he's decent, man. I think he's undefeated. And that Pedro Carvalho, he was in the Grand Prix, the featherweight Grand Prix. And and I think he made it through to the second round, maybe. And JJ, I think, took him out. What round was it?
TKO round 2.
Yeah, so man, he's one to watch. That young lad. Yeah, I've watched him a few times. He's really explosive, good fighter. So interesting to see how far he's going to get with his career.
Then you had the UFC on Sunday, Australian time.
Yeah, Australian time. Yeah.
So we'll go. Which one's this one? This one here. So we'll go main card. Lightweight, you had Luis Pena defeat Alex Munoz. Now Luis Pena, he's got a cool style, man.
Yeah.
He has that. He almost has like the shoulder roll.
Yeah, the shoulder. He's huge for that division, but apparently it was I didn't get to see that fight, but apparently it was a very close fight.
Very close.
I don't.
Alex Munoz was taking him down. Was winning the wrestling battles.
Yeah.
He landed some good strikes as well, good hands. But Luis Pena was like on the outside, just coming in. He almost reminds you of similar to Sav style.
Sav,
from what I remember. Yeah, Sav has really got that front heavy, like it's like real karate style. I don't know why. Like, even when Sav boxes, he's like that. So he had that real Sav style. But this guy was like, he was really smooth.
Yeah.
And towards the end, he was just starting like, land just. Pretty much.
I heard that in the third he really took over.
Yeah, so he was just pretty much just scoring. He wasn't looking for the big shot. He was just bat. It was moving.
Yeah, no, I didn't get it. Unfortunately, didn't get a chance to watch that fight.
Then you had after that Tracy Cortez versus Justine Kish, decision win. I didn't catch that one. I watched this fight: Abdul Razak Al Hassan versus Jacob Malkoon, who's an Aussie
from Whitaker's team.
This was the biggest underdog on the whole card.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were pretty much all the commentators were saying that Al Hassan was just going to absolutely run through Malkoon. Yeah. And Malkoon, perfect game plan, man.
Yeah, just very tight.
He knew like when to duck in for that shot. That's because as soon as Al Hassan loaded up on the right, bang. Yeah. Malkoon was.
I watched that. I was able to see that fight as well. And it was just one-on-one wrestling, man.
Al Hassan was just had no idea on the ground, and Malkoon was just literally. Just flow grappling, just keeping him down, landing ground and pound. Yeah. And got his decision win, and that's a big fight because
that's his first win.
First win,
in the UFC. So he lost his first fight to Phil Hawes, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And he got knocked down like a minute. So that's a great win for him, man. Like you said, to be totally written off to say you're gonna, got no chance, and to come out there and score the victory. Good on him, man.
And then.
Andraj
Arlovski. We went.
That's on a week's notice. This fight, man.
Yeah, a few weeks ago we were like, man, Arlovski's got to give it up, this and that, and then he comes back and gets a win.
On a week's notice too, bro. I know. And he fought well. I watched that fight, and he fought really good, man. Yeah. He was fast. He threw good combinations, like punches and bunches, like little leg kicks. I was impressed. Yeah. I was like, dude. So at the end of the day, like what people have to realize as well, the UFC, the One Championship, Bellator, all these divisions, they have to. It's like saying in the English Premier League, okay, well, fucking Sunderland, you haven't won this title in X amount of years, you're not allowed to play anymore. Like they're like, hey man, we're still a club. We still want to give it a shot because they need rounds. You know what I mean? Yeah. We need like a a full card. We can't just have like 3 guys who are the best in the world. They're not. The 3 guys can't fight all year round. So guys like Andraj Arlovski and that who can still perform and put up a good fight. You know what I mean? They are needed. Look, let's be honest. Arlovski's. you know, like I don't want to say anything because I'm clearly have no idea about anything, so I'm not going to come out and say a definitive stat. But he's more than likely never going to win a world title.
Yeah.
Okay, he's never going to beat an Ngannou or even a guy in the top 5. Let's be honest. But it is MMA, and anything can happen. So you know, but at the same time, man, he's going out there and he's performing. He's beating these young, hungry guys, man. He's doing a good job. So all props to Arlovski, man.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago we were calling, you know, just.
Yeah, you pack it in, man. But then it's weird because, like, you'd call, like, a guy like him to pack it in and then, you know, a guy like, you know, Junior Dos Anjos and that to keep going. And then they cut Junior Dos Anjos. It's a very, what is it?
Dos Santos.
Dos Santos. Sorry.
Because you're getting confused between Rafael Dos Anjos.
Oh, fuck off. Anyway, my point being is, yeah, like, I don't know, maybe Arlovski fights for fuck all, man. Maybe he fights for free pretty much because they're keeping him around, man. I find that strange they keep him.
A couple of weeks ago, you said that you need these guys in the division because you can't have all title contenders. You can't have all world champions because who are the new guys going to come in and fight? So you need guys like this. Yeah. Which is true.
Yeah, but I find it strange that you keep Arlovski, but you get rid of those two.
Yeah,
you know, Dos Anjos
and you got Romero.
You got rid of Romero. You got rid of Overeem. You know, Overeem's a guy who would keep fighting. He'll fight anybody. You know, I don't know why they got rid of people like that. It's strange. I don't know.
It must be something business-wise.
I think, obviously, you know, probably money in that.
Yeah. And then in the main, Bobby Whitaker versus Kelvin Gastelum. I watched this one and Whitaker.
It's so class, man. Yeah. He's really leveling up so fast, man. He's and another thing that Whitaker is good at is he's very disciplined. He's a very disciplined fighter. Sticks to the ideas really well. Every time, you know, Gastelum got on the inside, he just really kept that right hand tight and hard, and would just always catch all of Gastelum's punches. And every time Gastelum would land that punch that he would block, instantly would turn that into a body lock takedown. And he just stuck to the plan, man. He done really well, stuck behind it. You know, his kicks are beautiful. I love Robbie's the way he kicks. He takes the knees, kicks up through the middle, swings those kicks around the side.
For me, it's the loss against Adesanya was probably maybe one of the best things that happened to him because he really knuckled down and now he's worked his way back up to this title fight. And, you know, I personally think I think Adesanya is going to have his way with him again. Yeah, But I feel like now if Whitaker gets his title shot again, which more than likely he will, I feel like it's going to be a little bit closer. Yeah. I feel like Robbie Whitaker knows what Adesanya's capable of. He's been in there before, so I think he's going to come a lot more relaxed, a lot more calm. Yeah. Very measured, and he understands now Adesanya's style. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a different fight. Whether the result's the same or not, it's going to be a different Robbie Whitaker against a different Adesanya. Yeah. They're both, you know, have had big losses now. Like he lost, you know, obviously for, you know, Blachowicz. So he's going to come back and try and learn and improve. Well, hopefully. If you know, from his mindset, how I think Adesanya thinks, he's going to be like, look, man, I have to get better. Because, you know, people, he still wants to have a shot at that light heavyweight title. So he's going to go home and try and improve. And Robbie Whitaker has gone home and improved. He's got better hands, better feet. So, you know, in great wrestling. So maybe now he's building a way to develop to get more on the... Because if you can take a guy like Kelvin Gastelum down, who's shorter and also a good wrestler, why can't he take Adesanya down? And it's also shown that Adesanya can be taken down. All right, Blachowicz is a lot bigger. But yeah, back to our point, what we were talking about last week as well. Like, Whitaker definitely isn't deserving of having that title shot. But do you think he's going to get it? Because there's a lot of talk about it now. We spoke about it last week prior to the fight. Now we're here. We know the results. Yeah, I think, thinking about it business way, I feel like it has to happen because the UFC need Adesanya active because he's the money maker. He's the draw card. So they need Adesanya in there again. Now you got this kind of like a bottleneck now where you've got Vettori, you've got Whitaker, and you've got Adesanya at the top. What do you do there? Do you tee them, put them together and get them to fight Adesanya, the winner to fight Adesanya? Or do you give one the shot, then the other one the shot after?
I think what you need to say there is between all three of these people, obviously Adesanya being the first, the biggest voice of them all, is when does he want to fight? Yeah. When? So is it soon? then they have to pick between the two of them. If it's, hey, man, I don't want to fight for another 6 to 12 months, okay, now we can have that fight where these two, Whitaker and Vettori, fight each other. That's where I think it's going to come down to is the timeline of each fighter. Who and when are they available?
Because if they're going to go Whitaker needs time now.
Yeah.
Because, he did cop a few shots. There's obviously the travel time between.
Well, but they've both come off fights. Yeah, and that's a big point too, right there. What you just said, probably it could be a big decide. If it's a turnaround fast fight, Vettori's probably more in line for it.
Yeah,
because he's healed up already from the last fight. Didn't take much damage, and two, he's went back to America, no quarantine. So now where Whitaker's had to come home quarantine. I thought it was a week after him, so he's still got to heal up, sit in his quarantine, and then get ready for that fight. So that's what it's really going to come down to, I guess. All we can do is sit here and speculate and have our sort of thoughts on it all. I guess the only thing that, because then I did think, well, why don't they just get the Darren Till Vettori fight back? But then again, how long is Darren Till out for? He broke a collarbone. So how long does that take to heal?
Because you got to heal. Then you got to train again. Then you got to get confidence back and all of that. So
when do you bring Brunson in? Do you bring him in? You know what I mean? Like, what is the middleweight actual standing? What is the ranking? Because that's another big thing there. Who's ranked where? After that fight, with Whitaker, where does that leave Gastelum? Does that maybe put, Gastelum against a Brunson?
Yeah,
and then a Vettori against a Whitaker. And then, you know what I mean? The good thing is, that's why there needs to be a depth of fighters. Because, look, you can have this conversation you're talking about. Then you got Till.
Paulo Costa.
You got Costa. There you go. See, we just totally forgot about Paulo Costa. He needs to get a fight. Does Paulo Costa fight? Either I think it has to be Paulo Costa fights Vettori or Whitaker. And whoever doesn't fight Costa fights Israel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In my mind, I think if I was the matchmaker, I'd go Whitaker, Adesanya 2, and then Vettori Costa, and then you know what I mean. And then you can maybe put Derek Brunson against Cannonier. You know what I mean? And then the boys down the bottom. Till's broken collarbone. Hermanson lost his last fight. Gastelum lost. Uriah Hall, he needs to work his way up. Then you got obviously down the bottom Weidman and all that.
Interesting. So I think we've got.
It's a good problem for the UFC to have. Let's be honest.
Yeah, and that's good because I thought the middleweight. It is kind of it's hard because you got all of these guys and you got Adesanya at the top.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's interesting again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Adesanya just ran through it. Adesanya then tried his thing at light heavy, didn't work out. Now he's back down, and in that time the middleweights were working. So you had, Robert Whitaker working his way back up, Marvin Vettori doing his thing. So Paulo Costa waiting on the sidelines as well.
The thing is, the only reason why I guess personally I talk only about Whitaker and Vettori is because they're the only two that really have an argument.
Yeah.
Vettori can say, man, I took this guy to a 3-round decision. Whitaker can turn around and say, be like, man, you fought him long time ago and it wasn't even for a belt. I fought him for the world title. It's a totally different beast when you're fighting someone for the world title. So they both have a story to argue. Vettori can say, man, you got knocked out. So everyone has a point. You know what I mean? The only guy who doesn't is Paulo Costa, who's still getting fucking drunk.
Yeah.
He just needs to shut up, that guy.
Yeah.
He needs to shut up.
So moving on to the fights this week. Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow we've got...
one on TNT 3.
Yeah. It should be me. I'm fucking spewing. Only myself to blame. I've been kicking myself, man, every day. Every day, man.
So we've got Lineker versus Worthen.
Worthen, who's from Sanford, so I'm excited to see how Troy goes up against... Because he was meant to fight someone else. I can't remember who it was. And then Troy stepped up and fought John. And I don't know exactly the reason why, but John, opponent pulled out for some reason, and he stepped up to fight John, which is awesome, man. John's a beast, man. Hands of stone. And, you'll see why come the weekend, man. He has some heavy hands on him. But Troy's no one to muck around with, so that'll be a good fight, man.
Then you got Rhys Mclaren.
Who's an Australian.
Versus Yuya Wakamatsu.
Yep. That'll be a good fight, man.
Do you know Rhys Mclaren?
I don't know him personally, but I do know him. I've seen him fight a few times. He's a handy little fighter, and so is that Wakamatsu. He's good, man. He's really good. He fought DJ, and he took think did DJ tap him out or did DJ got a decision with him? But yeah, he fought DJ. It was a good fight. So that would be a quality fight.
And you got Marat Gafarov versus Ray Yoon, which should have been you.
Yeah, it should have been me, man. So I'm spewing Gafarov. If you still want it, baby, let's do it, man. I'm down, chat true. You call me, man. Let's get that fight going.
Or even, the winner of this one.
Yeah. Well, no, now they're saying the winner of this one gets a shot at Eddie Alvarez.
Oh, really?
Yeah, April 28th. So that's why I'm sitting here, man. I'm spewing. I only got myself to blame. So, hopefully, guys, I'm going to get things sorted and with one championship and re-sign with them in the next few months and then hopefully make my way over to America, man, and no longer have these problems. So I'll keep you posted on that, guys.
Then you got Ryuto Sawada versus Miao Li Tao.
Yep.
And Nicky Holzken versus John Wayne Parr.
Which is interesting. That's the first fight of the night.
What's the first fight of the night?
I don't know. I find that very interesting, man.
That should be the main.
Well, definitely on the main card. You think it would open up the main card, like going back. You think,
This should be the main fight of the night.
I wouldn't say the main fight,
John Lineker and Troy Worthen. Nicky Holzken is Nicky.
Yeah, but no belts up for grabs. Both older guys.
But you'd think it's the draw card.
Yeah. You'd think so. I'm with you. At least it would be somewhere near the top.
Yeah.
Somewhere near the top. But then you got to also remember, one championship don't have an undercard. This essentially is the main card. So they're opening up the main card.
Yeah. Agree. I saw a video a few weeks ago now. John Wayne Parr put up a video on his Facebook and Instagram explaining that he's had to do this thing all by himself. Yeah. He's gone over to Singapore.
Yeah, he went over to Singapore by himself. No corner. Yeah, because no one would go over him because of quarantine. Because you got to remember, if you're an Australian, you've almost got to take like a month off for work.
Yeah.
And a lot of people aren't in that position. They can't afford to close. Even if you're the coach. If you're the coach of a gym who you run the gym by yourself, I can't afford to close the door for a month, man. When my students going to train and stuff. So that was weird. It was weird, So unfortunately, but John Wayne Parr, he's a true legend, man. A true legend of the sport, and you see why, man. Just flies over all by himself, man, and get the job done.
Against Nicky Holzken.
Yeah, Holzken, man. He was a freak, man. So interesting fight to see. And then we got, is Bellator on this week?
I'm not sure. I don't think there is.
Well, I'm pretty sure it might be. It might be, what's his name fighting? Was it that one?
No, that's
that's on the same card.
Yeah,
Okay, so no Bellator this week.
No Bellator. So Bellator, a bit of a rest.
Bellator need a rest. And we'll talk about, they've got a massive card. We'll talk about that next week.
Next week. And then you got UFC 261 this Sunday.
Yeah, it's the big one. Huge one, man.
It's a big one.
Three titles?
Yeah, 3 titles on the line. And then you got 2, do we go through the whole card or you just want to go through who's on the prelims that we may know? Alex Oliveira, Cowboy Oliveira is back in it with Randy Brown. Dwight Grant versus Stefan Sekulic. Carl Robertson, Brendan Allen.
Oh, Brendan Allen, he's from Sanford.
Yeah.
Who's he for? Let's see.
Carl Robertson.
There you go. Nice. Brendan Allen's fighting. So all the best to Brendan. Hope he gets the job done. I'm not sure who he's fighting. I don't really know that guy, but I'll be trying to tune in and watch that fight. Early prelims. No one to talk about on there. We'll just go to the main card.
Yeah, main card. Yeah, so the night kicks off with Anthony Smith versus Jimmy Crute.
Yeah, come on, Jimmy.
We got to see Jimmy Crute fight his debut fight here in Australia.
Hex.
At Hex. So, I feel like a little bit of a personal relationship. I saw the beginnings, I saw the grassroots. And now he's at the big stage, and he's fighting Anthony Smith, man. And it's a big fight.
It's a huge fight, man. Anthony Smith is like the gatekeeper at light heavyweight, man. Yeah. You get past him, you're in there. You're in there now with the big boys.
Thiago Santos.
Yeah, that's it, man. Yeah, Racic. You got those sort of guys, man. You got
Glover Teixeira,
the other, what's the good name? The guy that fought John Jones, Reyes,
Dominic Reyes.
Yeah, Dominic Reyes. Yeah. So, some big boys out there. But this is a big fight for him. If he can get this job done, it sets him up for a big future. So, and he's only young, Jimmy. So he's got a 12-1 record, and we'll wait and see. I'm excited for that fight for him.
Me too. You got Uriah Hall versus Chris Weidman.
In that middleweight division again, there it is. These are the lower ranked guys. When I say lower ranked, in the top 15s, I'm talking. Yeah. So this is interesting. You get a big finish here. Then you could get a Brunson. You could even get a Vettori. You could get anyone if you get a huge win here.
And you got to remember, in Chris Weidman, he's been at the top before.
Yeah, man. Chris Weidman's no joke of a fighter, man. And
so was Uriah Hall.
And Uriah Hall, man, he come off. He made his name with that big highlight reel knockout that he had on the Ultimate Fighter, and then he beat Anderson Silva recently. Well, not recently, a while ago now. He beat Anderson Silva last, and now he's fighting another legend in Chris Weidman. So if he gets these two jobs done, man. You're taking out yesterday's era and it's setting you up for a big future. So that'll be interesting for Uriah Hall and Chris Weidman. I wonder how Chris Weidman, because his last couple of fights, man, he's lack.
Yeah,
I mean, no joke. He's been very, very average.
But he's had a long layoff now. Yeah.
Yeah. Ever since that Anderson run he had, he just was never
Because what was his last? Who his last loss was?
I don't know who he last fought, but it's just, to me, very average last, couple of fights. But
and you also got to add sold out arena.
Yeah, they're back. 15,000, I think it is, in Jacksonville, Florida. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So that's sick, man. Yeah, USA, baby. The crowd USA. Is back. God bless.
Then the first of the title fights, Valentina Shevchenko versus Jessica Andraj. Big fight. Jessica Andraj has been running through the division. Valentina Shevchenko.
I don't know too much about Andraj, but I know about Shevchenko. She's a beast.
Yeah,
and she really
both of these girls are beasts.
Okay,
man. So it's gonna be a good fight. I still think Shevchenko. She's just gonna run through everybody. She's just too high level.
Well, you're going to give us some tips later about some betting. You know what I mean? And how did your bets go last week, actually?
No. Good? Ben Askren, man. He fucked me.
Fucked us. You curly-headed wanker. Wanker. You millionaire cunt.
Then I had Marquez Jackson as well. So I didn't go too good on that one. The fight following, Weili Zhang versus Rose Namajunas. This is going to be a good fight, Zhang Weili. She's very forward, very pressure fighter, likes to strike. Fighter, I like her. And Rose Namajunas is the opposite. She's a counter fighter. She waits for you to throw, she steps back.
And there's a bit of heat there. There's a bit of heat. Communism calls, man. Did you hear that?
I don't know where Rose is coming from.
Yeah, but I think she was taken out of context from what I've heard. I think she was asked the question and she spoke of communism in her country, and then she was sort of trying to allude to the fact that she doesn't care for communism. I don't think she ever came out and said, like, Zhang Li, you're a fucking communistic bitch. And like, she never said that, and everyone's like giving Rose a bad rap.
Better
dead than red. But that's her political opinion.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean?
But I feel like as a pro, you got to, like, I know you want to stand on your shield and say what you feel, but at the same time, someone like Weili Zhang, who's a representative of her country, she can't say that. Like, she can't come out and say anything back to what Rose Namajunas has said. Yeah. Because you don't know what happens in China. Yeah. When she goes back home, you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Okay,
so she's saying those things, and then if the media's trying to get something out of Zhang Weili,
I think that's what it's more. It's more the media is trying to like amplify the situation. And Rose, she said was she doesn't care for communism. She didn't go, Zhang Li, you're a dirty communistic bitch.
So I feel like the media here has done Zhang Weili wrong.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, she comes from a country that's communist, and she can't really speak out against it. Yeah. She's from there.
Well, she can. She's a world champion UFC fighter, and they kill her. Okay, then the world knows that communism is as bad as it is. I'm just saying. I know what you're saying, and look, it's not as easy as her just going, fuck China, I'm out of here. It's not that easy, and I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm trying to say is she can say something. She can. If she look, what I'm saying, she can. Don't say she can't.
Have you seen Icarus?
Okay, she's fighting in America. She can grab that mic after and say what she thinks, and then say, I'm not leaving America because I'm an asylum seeker.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying.
Even in America, she can get got.
Yeah, all I'm just saying to you is that she can say something. It's not like there's a gun to her head at 24. Essentially, I know what you're saying, but that's what I mean.
Do you know what I'm saying?
But then, do you see where Rose is coming from?
I know.
She's openly saying, guys, there is some bad people out there in this world, and people are too scared to speak up about it because you might end up dead. Now, that really is America. We should step in and go, all right, well, let's protect this poor girl. If she's that scared of her own country, let's protect her because we're against communism, isn't America?
Well, you don't know what her stance is as well.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my point. And this is what I was trying to wheel around to. How do you know that Weili's like, well, fuck you, I'm communist. fuck you, bitch. We took your people back. See what I'm saying? Yeah. Let's hear what she's got to say.
Yeah, I feel like the media was unfair here.
Yeah, no, it was. And Rose.
But I don't understand where Rose was going. Was she being, were they malice?
Yeah,
towards Bailey?
And as the public, do we ever go back and look at the report and read the question and watch the whole thing for what it was, or do we just read that one snippet that she said better dead than red?
Yeah.
Now she comes from Lithuania. Where does she come from, Rose? Her family. Because that's why she made that comment. Because her family and her country were under communism rule.
Well, it must be a Soviet then.
Yeah, so she made a comment in relation to that from what I picked up. So that's what I'm saying here. Like, everyone keeps throwing it at her, like saying she's, why would you say that about... But she's like, I don't think she ever directed at her. She more was saying she comes from a communistic country, and I don't believe in communism ways. Why? Because my family was caught in communism, and they were killed. Like, so she has her own reasoning. But I know what you're saying. Hey, Weili's like, hey, man, I didn't fucking kill your family. I didn't do it.
And I'm a fucking MMA fighter.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not getting into politics.
Yeah. So I know what you're saying. I'm just trying to see... I'm trying to be devil's advocate. I'm trying to be in the middle because I can see why she said that. But back. There you go. Got to put off point.
Yeah, we would fucking.
Gonna be a good fight, man. Gonna be a good fight. East versus West.
Then you got.
It's like Rocky event. 4. Just quickly, it's like Rocky 4, man.
Drago.
Yeah, Drago.
Yeah. Then you got the main event.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for
this. We should really have your brother and Juan. That would be a good
But any Latino fights, we should get them on because we're heavy on them, man.
Yeah, man. Guys are here, man. But I just watched the first 2 rounds of the rewatched it, and because you guys have been saying Masvidal can do this, can do that, and I was like, come on. But I watched the first 2, and I watched especially that first round. And I was like, all right, I can see where you're coming from, but I still think that Masvidal is looking for a lucky punch. I still do think that. I think what he's looking for is a big home run punch. And
would you say lucky?
Yeah, okay. That's why I did change it there. Yeah. You didn't pick up on that. I did fucking change the home run punch. Because that's what he is. He's a home run puncher sort of guy. Now, he's going to have the ability to do it from round 1 to 3 now. I still don't think he's fitter than Masvidal, Usman. I think Usman can do 5 rounds better than he can do 5. Yeah. But now he not only has 5 minutes, he now has 15 minutes to find that punch. You know what I'm saying?
25.
No, but what I'm saying is Masvidal needs to find it within that first 3 rounds. Otherwise, after that, it's 4-5 is all Usman.
Remember, you're basing this off of that last fight.
No, I'm also basing it off of Usman as a fighter and who he's fought and what he's done to people. He can ground you. Once he gets past 3 rounds, once he's taken your punches for 3 rounds, that's one thing he does really well, which people don't realise with Kamaru Usman, is that he eats your punches to work you out, I think. I personally do. And you've seen it really good in the Gilbert Burns fight. He ate those punches and was like, okay. And then he built the game plan off that. And I think that's what he's done here. And that's why I believe he called for this Masvidal fight. He knew it was a payday. And he also knows that Masvidal doesn't have the power to knock him out. And I think he knows that. He doesn't have the ability to tap him out. He doesn't have the ability to out-wrestle Usman. So I'm thinking he's only got one chance, and that's to knock him out. Yeah. And I believe that has to be in the first 15.
It's interesting because the last fights, the main one I can really base this one off is the Colby fight. Because Colby was just a stand-up fight. Yeah. Now, what's different for me for this one is that Masvidal mixes it up, man. Very creative striker. He would throw like a front kick, and then he would, he would
switch
throw like
over,
a switch step overhand. Yeah. So he's really creative with his striking. Now, is he going to be that creative that he's going to catch Usman out in those first 3 rounds, as you say? Yeah. I guess we have to wait till Sunday to see. But for me, it's. Usman has to figure out the tricks that Masvidal has. Yeah, I feel like because that's the tricky striking is what Masvidal is amazing at. Yeah. So I feel like, hey, if Masvidal can get a rhythm in and start creating a pattern and then switch it up and then find something, I think that's where Masvidal is going to come in.
Yeah, that obviously that's why I was saying in that first 15 minutes where he can just go from jab to explosive switch over left hook, and you're like, fuck, where'd that come from? That could be the end of the fight. Yeah. But I believe it has to be in that first 15 minutes.
But then you got to remember, Usman's striking is very, again, pattern based. Jab, and he's probably one of the best in the UFC with the jab. It's heavy. He's sat down Gilbert Burns with it.
Yeah, Gilbert Burns.
You know,
jab,
he broke Colby Covington's jaw with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or just that straight
Yeah,
striking.
that straight. Oh no, yeah, it wasn't a jab. It was a right hand.
It was a right hand.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. He's a very clinical fighter.
Yeah.
You know, here, bum, shoots, takes you down. Where Masvidal is very like spur of the moment.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna throw this. I'm gonna do that. He's thinking per second of the fight.
Throw a body kick.
Yeah. So that's what it's gonna come down to. What rhythm are they gonna dance to?
Yeah.
Is it gonna be an offbeat or an onbeat?
Yeah.
If it's an onbeat, Usman wins. If it's an offbeat, you know, Masvidal wins. But I believe Masvidal has to do that in the first 15 minutes.
And he can't let Usman get his rhythm. He can't let him allow him to get the takedown because fundamentally Usman is 10 times better than Masvidal in everything, in wrestling. Striking, all right, you can. There's a little bit more.
Yeah, that's it. They've both got merit in striking. Yeah, I know what you're saying. You know,
but in terms of grappling, wrestling, takedowns,
besides striking, everything goes to Usman.
Yeah,
striking, it's very easy, and you might even and power you might even give to Masvidal.
Yeah,
but do you? Because back then he had it. You know what we've seen with the Gilbert Burns fighters, we've seen some serious power, man. The ability to take shots and then give them. And not only, like we just said, he knocked the guy down on his ass with the jab.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Usman, I believe, is continuing to grow. He's went from Sanford now to Whitman. Mm-hmm. And I think Whitman's, he's not going to allow Usman to stay where he was, because he's like, well, now I want you to train on my level. So I think Usman, and that's why he moved to, I think, because he continually wants to be that student, that guy that's always learning. And if you look at Trevor Whitman's setup, he has no big club with like hundreds and hundreds of, like you see Sanford, there's 50, 60 of us training in there. It's hard to specify, to who you're working with. But Whitman's, it's like a private setup, man, and that's why, I think that Usman's gonna come out, and I can't see him losing this fight personally.
You see, Masvidal has success when the fight gets dirty.
Yeah,
when it becomes just like the Nate Diaz fight. Nate Diaz just pretty much.
Well, he wants a brawl. He wants you to fight. He wants a fight.
Yeah,
he wants to fight. Well, Usman,
Usman's
he's gonna have to want to keep it clean. And personally, if watching this fight, in my opinion, if it's kept clean, Usman wins. If it's dirty, Masvidal can win
I
this
don't
fight.
see it getting dirty. I see, he could have got dirty with Gilbert Burns after he got that big strike and just really just fight it.
But that's the question. That's what I'm saying about what beat are we going to dance to? If we dance to Masvidal, it's going to stay dirty. There's no fucking way around it. And then the way it's going to stop is either you get your rhythm or you get knocked out. So how long will it take Usman to find his rhythm? And I was surprised in the first fight, Usman never kept away from Masvidal. I went straight at him. Yeah, you know what I mean. Kept in front of him the whole time.
Because he understood. All right, this guy had 2 weeks max to prepare for this.
Okay, but at the same time, you think my thinking would be, keep your distance early on, you know what I mean? Because he's going to throw some bombs. But Usman stood right in front of him and took all those shots and kept going. So it's going to be an interesting fight, man. It's definitely going to be a good fight, man. Yeah. This is what MMA is all about. Now, this ain't no bullshit Triller fight, man. This is legit two, stone cold motherfuckers getting in there doing it at their best. So it'll be a good fight. Interesting. I can't wait to see it, man.
So that's pretty much all of the MMA tonight. Paul Gallen versus Lucas Brown.
Oh, yep.
Paul Gallen's back in there.
I can see how big Lucas Brown is compared to him. Fucking massive. Huge. I was looking up at Lucas Brown. I'm not going to make a prediction because I'm going to get it wrong. I don't know. You'd think Lucas Brown wins this. He was an ex-WBO world champion. Yeah. So we'll wait and see if Paul Gallen wins this. So
by the time this was released, the fight would have been already done. So, again, Australian boxing. It is what it is.
Talking about Australian boxing,
did you see the press conference between
Kambosos and Lopez? Lopez took his shirt off. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Hey, it's going to be an interesting fight. Can't wait to see that one.
To sell the fight.
That's the only fight that Triller, I can't believe they call it Triller, is actually putting on that's half decent. So I'm interested to see that.
And then it was funny because now Lopez is going on Instagram painting Kambosos out about his shoes. Or the soles were like that thick.
They were. Because even Lee, he said it to me. He goes, oh, man, see how much big Kambosos is than Lopez? And I was like, yeah, but did you see his shoes? He's like fucking wearing platforms. Yeah. It looked like he's at Gene Simmons at a Kiss.
So, just going through the odds of I'll go to the top 3 fights of the UFC. So you got Shevchenko at $1.25, the heavy favourite. Andraj at $3.75. Shevchenko all day long there. Weili Zhang versus Rose Namajunas. This is a bit closer, this one. This is the one that's too hard for me to tell because you got a forward pressure fighter that's going to come forward and just look just to tag you. Like again, what she.
I personally think. Sorry to cut you off. I think the
Weili
Chinese,
Zhang.
she wins.
Again, she's the favourite at $1.47, and Rose at $2.57. This is my pick. I'm going to go Rose, just because I think her striking. It's not. Jan Jacek, as of last few fights, she struggled, and she really wanted to get to a war with Weili Zhang, and they were just teeing off on each other, man. It wasn't. I mean, it was technical, but again,
I know what you're saying.
A lot of times,
it's like we said before with the Usman fight.
Yeah,
it's going to be very much the same thing as what you're trying to say.
And this one, Rose Namajunas is going to come out, and she's going to step back, allow Weili Zhang to overcommit on her strikes, and but she's going to land, she's going to move, she's going to keep landing, she's going to move, and I personally think Rose, striking wise, is a lot better than Weili Zhang. So I've got Rose Namajunas at 257. So just chucking them in the multi as we go.
Oh.
And then but take this with a grain of salt. All right, my pick is always going to be Masvidal against even if Masvidal fights Ngannou, it's going to be Masvidal. All right, just because
Latino heat, man, Latino heat.
So so my pick is going to always be George at $4, heavy underdog, man.
Wow.
And then Kamaru Usman at $1.22. So.
Yeah, for me personally, I would pick all the favourites.
Yeah.
If I was to pick a multi, I'd fucking hell, is he betting it right here, right now?
Yeah,
he's not even fucking. I'm just hitting nothing but red on that screen there. Rick, have you lost all your bets?
Yeah, the last week was shocking. I even had
Hey, when are you gonna give me that money back?
So yeah, in a multi that pays $12.85. So chuck 100 on that.
Whoa!
Because Masvidal is one of my favorite fighters. You know, I enjoy watching him fight. It's very entertaining. So. It's gonna be interesting, you know, even his walkout music. When he fought the Diaz brothers, his walkout music then was, and fuck the fucking Diaz brothers. And then he came out to the Scarface theme.
No, he's a cool guy. I personally, I'm a huge fan of Masvidal. I really like him. I think he's a legend, man. Yeah. But just as a fight fan watching the fight, I just personally think Usman wins this fight.
Then, bit of MMA news. We have Conor McGregor announced. His fight was finally officially announced with Dustin Poirier after last week they had the little altercation saying, you know, I'm going to go fight elsewhere now. You know, you fucked up, kid. But now the UFC's made it official, so that fight's going to come up now. So, yeah, I don't really want to. Do you want the trilogy or do you want McGregor to fight somebody else now?
No, I want to see the trilogy.
Yeah.
I do. I personally, I'd rather see Dustin Poirier fight someone else, but... You know, in terms of Conor McGregor, I'd like to see him fight. Because if he doesn't beat Dustin now, where does that leave Conor? To me, he's over. He's finished.
Yeah.
See you later. It's done.
Did you see Conor McGregor accuse Nate Diaz for steroid usage?
Doesn't he always?
Yeah. Because it was funny because there was I do remember when USADA came out and said that Nate Diaz tested for something. And then Nate Diaz came out and because his supplement is... He gets a supplement of his own company. Yeah. He came forward and gave the, pretty much, you know, I think it's the ingredients or whatever's in his supplements. And then pretty much I got swept under the rug. So Conor McGregor came out and saying, you know, when was the last time the USADA came out and pinged somebody for...
Well, that's I did hear that he said,
drug usage,
everyone gets like...
steroid use. And everybody's like, well, that's kind of true. Like, when was the last time somebody got pinged? Was it John Jones, like, fucking a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
You know, was that the last time?
I did hear about that.
And it's, you know, you're thinking like, fuck, you know, it's kind of true. Is everybody clean now?
Yeah, that's it.
Or is the UFC just, you know, saving fights or USADA saving, I mean, USADA and UFC going hand in hand to save cards now?
That's the thing. It's a multi-million or billion-dollar organization. It is so rigged. It is so like unfair what they're doing at the top that guys like you and I couldn't even imagine what they're doing, and so much should be swept under the rug. No one gives a fuck, and we're left alone.
And that's where, you know, Conor McGregor gets a lot of respect because he speaks out because he doesn't give a fuck, man. Yeah, he's got the money.
He's made his money. That's right, and they need him more than he needs them.
Yeah, and then you know, and he's like, all right, well, I can be me. I can be real because you guys need me. I don't fucking need you anymore. Yeah. So he comes out and he kind of like puts problems to light. Yeah. You know what I mean? And this is huge because it now makes the fans think, because McGregor has a lot of pull, so a lot of the these armchair fans are now like they get a lot onto this steroid use.
Yeah, but at least it puts like you just said then, light onto the issue.
Yeah,
like it's getting spoken about now amongst the people. Like, hey, yeah, when was this? Why is no one speaking about this?
Yeah,
and even if it isn't something, at least now that steroid talk's more coming about, because you want that spoken about.
Yeah,
if they can eradicate this bullshit out of the sport, man, it'd be the best day ever. But I personally don't think they're ever going to.
Yeah. So it's interesting. I anticipate that the UFC now is going to start coming out with fighters getting pinged again. Just to
give a couple of low level guys. Hand them over. Yeah, here you go. Have this bloke.
So that's one. Last thing before we wrap up, I do want to bring light to this.
This is the soccer thing?
Yeah.
I was going to say, I'm waiting for it because I want to know. I have no idea, like zero.
So this sports today is going in a very, very concerning direction. Obviously, with MMA, with the combat world, a lot of these celebrities are coming in and they're making their money off of the back of you guys, the guys that have sacrificed so much in their life. And then, so now what's happened the last week? Absolutely, this is one of the worst weeks in soccer history, football history, ever. So you've had 6 of the big clubs in England. Well, 5, 6. Tottenham, I don't know how they classify themselves as a big club, but anyway, 6 English clubs. So that includes Tottenham, Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester United, Manchester City. The other one was, I can't remember. Was it? Did I say Liverpool?
You said Liverpool, Man City, Manchester, Man U, Liverpool, Arsenal, Tottenham. Okay.
So I think that's all of them. Yeah, that is all of them.
Anyway.
Yeah. Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, Real Madrid, and then not Napoli, Inter Milan, AC Milan, and Juventus. Yeah. So those are the 3. So that makes up a total of 12 teams have agreed to create a breakaway competition.
Oh, wow.
What's going to happen here is that, the English FA have already said, if you guys go and do this, we're going to remove you from the Premier League.
Oh.
So that's straight away off the bat. UEFA have come out. If you guys go ahead with this, we're going to be withdrawn from the UEFA, which means you can't compete in the Champions League or the Europa League. FIFA have then come out and said, if the players that want to participate in this tournament, you can't play international football for your country. Yeah. So all of this happened within the space of a day.
Wow, really?
UEFA have come out, the UEFA officials came out, the guys that are running this, because a lot of these owners have positions in the UEFA board, in the FIFA board. And then the day before, they've stepped down from their role, and then this happens. So you have to come out, these guys are snakes. These guys are they're going to destroy football. They come out really hard against it. And then in the last day, you've had pundits come out, Sky Sports. So it's a war between the rich. It's just the rich shitting on the rich. Yeah. Hey, fuck you guys. We're making you guys money here. Yeah. We're going to go do our own thing between the 12 of us because we don't need you guys. We're going to just pretty much do our own thing over here and make money between ourselves and a lot more money.
So essentially they want to create like a super league.
They want to franchise the game. They want to make it Americanized, like the NFL is. You can't get promoted or relegated in the NFL. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's what they essentially want to do. They're guaranteed to participate in this league.
So it's like an AFL-like thing.
Yes.
Yeah. It's one league, no ups and downs.
Yes.
Only 12 teams and that's all.
Yeah. So then this got proposed. They pretty much said, "Yep, this is what we're going to do. We don't give a fuck what anybody says. It's going to happen." Immediately, these guys the club started withdrawing from the UEFA association. Means they've withdrawn themselves from the European leagues. And then pretty much everything that happened pretty much said, these guys are going to fucking do this. Yeah. There was a huge uproar between the fans because at the end of the day, they're shitting on history. You take Manchester United out of the English Premier League, you shit on that whole division. You're pretty much shitting on the country. Yeah. Not just the Manchester United fans or the Arsenal fans. You're shitting on the whole country because the way the Premier League works, it's a pyramid. Yeah, all the money's at the top, but that money has to trickle down. Yeah. So the lower league clubs can survive.
Yeah.
You know.
So Sunderland, for instance, when they play Manchester United, that's a massive payday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And without the bigger clubs, the little clubs can't survive.
Yeah.
So when the news broke out, Liverpool were playing Leeds last night. Leeds players walked down on the pitch with a Champions League logo saying "Earn it," because you have to earn your right to play in these competitions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're not entitled to it. You have to earn it. The year before, you finished top 4. The year after, you play Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're not entitled to always be guaranteed to play in it. And then last night, shit hit the fan again. Yeah. You had 6 of the English clubs pull out of it.
Oh, wow.
Which means if you don't have those 6 English clubs...
But pull out of what?
The European Super League. This new thing.
Okay, yeah. So they said we're not going to do it anymore.
They're not going to do it. So they've stepped down now. Which means I think Barcelona have followed suit and now Atletico Madrid have followed suit. So this Super League isn't going to happen.
Fell apart, yeah.
Completely fell apart. So...
But then where does that leave the clubs who did say they were going to do it?
Well, you had the Manchester United chairman now step down because Arsene Wenger came out in 2009 and said they're doing this. In 10 years' time, this is going to become a real thing. So it took them 10 years to plan this. It took 2 days to shut it down.
Yeah, wow.
2 fucking days to shut it down.
Yeah.
And I'm putting this to light here and I'm going to depth with you because they wanted to Americanize the game. They wanted to really bring forward these next 2, and you're going to see, if they would have done this, the game would have gone to shit. You would have seen ads filtered all over the place.
Yeah.
You would have seen...
We'll be turning into the Triller of
Essentially, yes. And you would have seen these games taken to the US, taken to China, taken to Singapore. Yeah. You know, these games
No more history, like you said. No more backbone, no more authenticity.
Like for me, if I wanted to go watch Arsenal play, I would love to go and watch them at their ground.
Yeah, in Arsenal. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah,
that's where they are.
Catch the tube, walk amongst the locals and go watch a game.
Why am I going to go to Singapore to watch a competitive game, Arsenal versus Liverpool in Singapore? Yeah. That's just an exhibition match.
No, you know and essentially, look, from the outside looking in, I mean, that's been football for many years now. It turned into the place where, I'll give a shout out to my boy Lapore, who goes for Inter Milan, who sold their logo of how many years?
Yeah.
How many years so they can sell more T-shirts? Like, no offense, guys, you can paint that any way you want. Like, you guys are a bunch of sellout dopes. Yep. And anyone who supports these clubs, you are also and you said it really good in your Instagram thing. Guys, if then people go, what are we going to do? You know what you do? Go down and support your local club. Say, fuck you. We're not going to watch your bullshit anymore. Turn it off and go there and watch how quick all these clubs will come running back to you guys. Because just like the government, man, like Uncle Sub said, man, you can't stop these motherfuckers. But one thing you can do is not use them anymore. Mm-hmm. And once you stop using that TV to watch them and go watch your local clubs, you watch how quick they'll come running back to you. And not only that, how quick your clubs will start rising.
Yep.
Because that was one thing I got to say that I found, the only reason I don't mind soccer, because when I went to England, I always thought it was like AFL, like you just said. Like, the government, okay, we're going to have a team. Put the team together. But, Liverpool once were just a local club, and they made all their way up all the way to the EPL. And I was like, that's pretty cool. Like, I didn't even know you could do that. Yeah. Like, how cool would it be if the Pitbulls could make the A-League? Yeah. Like, but you don't have that opportunity. Yeah. Which sucks,
pretty much. Yeah, for us, we'd have to just... to get there, we have to buy our way there.
Yeah.
There's just no other way. You can't physically work your way there. Yeah. Unless you play in the FFA Cup and you're eventually... But
it comes down to what you said, man, and back to the fighting as well, guys. Stop supporting these bullshit, man. That's why I didn't watch it, and I would have never buy it, is these Triller cards. I might tune in and watch George Kambosos fight Lopez because they're real fighters, but all these other guys, I didn't want to... Like, I did not share one thing about the Jake Paul thing. And I know I'm a nobody on the internet. I get it. I'm not going to sit here and... But, man, I purposely didn't talk about it. I didn't... Every single social media and media outlet would just post everything they could about the Jake Paul thing, because all they care about is clicks, man. They don't care who they're selling out, what they're destroying. And it's money.
This period that we're in now, with no, especially in England, with no fans in the stadiums, this was calculated, man. They say, we don't fucking need fans in the stadium to make money. Everyone's at home paying subscriptions. Everyone's at home still buying our merch. We're still making money. You know what I mean? And actually, to have fans in here is probably going to cost us more.
Yeah, exactly. We've got to get staff. We've got to get this. Let's even stop building stadiums. Let's just build a fucking training pitch that's enclosed with screens everywhere where we can have advertising 24/7.
UFC would have made a killing.
Yeah.
Like at the Apex.
Yeah.
It's their building.
Yeah.
They've got their production. It's in-house. They can probably just leave the shit set
That's
up.
it, 100%, man.
You know what I mean? And
that's all it comes down to, which is sad, man. And the unfortunate thing is, it's the saddest thing about it is they'll go out these super leagues and make this millions and millions of dollars, and probably the people that won't see any of it are the other players and that. Yeah, they might get a pay. They get paid really well, soccer players, I'm sure. But even like you just said with the UFC would have made a massive profit from this whole COVID thing. But do you think the fighters seen any of it? No, they just had to shut up and keep doing their job. You know what I mean?
Because those fans that weren't at the stadium, they're paying the pay-per-view anyway.
Exactly. So they're making more money than ever. But I didn't know that about the soccer. That's interesting.
Yeah,
that was interesting.
If yesterday people were saying, football, they just killed football, and now it's for me it's concerning now because these clubs need to come up with an idea, well, not the clubs themselves, because obviously the guys at the top they fucking run it, but it's the FAs now, who aren't saying to themselves.
Yeah.
The FA, the UEFA, the FIFA. Everyone who's a board member anywhere is a fucking... You're still corrupt as fuck. It doesn't matter.
They all are. Everyone knows.
At the end of the day, they look out for their own pocket. And that's why the politicians came out. And that's why... Because they all have an investment in the Premier League. Yeah. In these leagues. Mm-hmm. So now these guys went away and tried to do their own thing. You're hurting pockets.
Just quickly, man, I just don't know how as a fan you can now... If I back in the day, I like Tottenham. Tottenham can go fuck themselves. How about that? There you go. Fuck you, Tottenham. And you sell out club. I hope you burn to the ground and you never win a game again. And everyone else who tried to pull out and destroy the soccer that I'm not even, or football that I don't even like. I hope your whole entire organisation crumbles and that Leeds United, who are a shit club, they go and win the Premier League and say, fuck yous all.
Because, because, man, like, for example, Liverpool went out and played Leeds. Yeah. They drew 1-0.
Yeah.
Arsenal went out and played Fulham. They drew 0-0. Yeah. No, 1-0 as well. Liverpool Leeds drew 0-0. Yeah. So you got these guys that are saying they want to be part of the Super League and they can't even beat these clubs that are, So who the fuck do they think they are?
At the end of the day, soccer's one of the worst. It's like,
so like I said in my post, I said, go out, support your locals, man. Like in all sports.
Yeah, everything.
Your local combat cards. Go out there. Just go in. Like, even if you're buying a ticket, you're supporting those fighters.
Buy the stream. Buy the, go, anything. Even just share the post. Like the post. Yeah. Man. And it's
not only that, you're giving yourself a voice. Yeah. Because if you go out and support your local club, you become involved. Then you can have a say. Mm-hmm. At the moment, at these other clubs, fans don't have a fucking say. The owners barely even go to the stadium. Yeah. They're not even in the country.
I think the owners are more concerned about profits and losses than they are wins and losses.
One of the big six owners, which I'm pretty sure it's the Tottenham owner, went to the game and asked, "Which team are we? What color are we?" I'm pretty sure the Tottenham owner, because they're Americans. And because of Tottenham, nobody really fucking knows them. So I'm assuming it's a Tottenham owner would have come in like, which one are we? Like, motherfucker, you own the club.
Man, that's embarrassing.
So again,
well, that just, and that falls back on people like you. You as a fan now show. I know you don't have a huge reach, but show your brothers and your cousins and the people around you. That, hey guys, fuck these clubs. Why are we supporting them anymore? Like, get behind get behind the fucking pit bulls, man. I missed the Seagull. I watched a bit of the Bs and I watched a bit of the A's. Yeah. Man, I only like watching local level sports. Yeah. Besides, for me, fighting the top end, I love watching the top end fighting. But I don't.
But even then,
I hate watching footy, AFL, and all that. I like watching your local boys play. They're the best. Man.
That's why I can't get behind. Like, I used to support Adelaide United, but I can't get it. It's franchise football. Yeah. They literally, you're supporting a business.
They called it, racism and that with the Adelaide. See, that was when it was at its best, man. Yeah. Passion, pride. Yeah, let's try and get rid of the violence, but let's keep the passion and the pride there, man.
Yeah, I completely agree, and that's history that they just shout on, and they just pretty much what happened with these guys here happened in Australia. Yeah, these rich guys came in, created these clubs.
Yeah. Well, businessmen came in, man.
Come support us. Yeah. Don't worry about these guys. Let them just fucking burn to hell. So that's what happens. Go out, support, fucking, and then give you fans have a voice, man. Yeah,
we are the voice. People are the power. People don't realize that it isn't the wankers in the suits. Yep. They're only 4 guys with a couple of $1 billion between them. We're 1 billion people with a couple of hundred in the pocket. So that makes us way more richer than those 4.
And it showed.
They need us to keep turning the cogs, man. And without us, we can close them down.
And this is how you're going to stop
Fuck, we sound like revolutionists, man. You're like Che Guerrero of the soccer.
This is honestly, and even going back to the UFC, come out, go against the fighter pay scenario issue.
Well, yeah, I was listening to a podcast today. Like they were saying, hey guys, stop going on it. Well, he said, look, stop ragging on the UFC so much. Look, they're doing their job and they're never going to stop. What you got to do is go look up LFA, go look up Eternal, go look up One Championship, go watch Bellator, go support all these other local leagues, and then they're all going to grow. And then all of a sudden the UFC like, oh, shit, we better change our ways. Because if you leave them at the top and you just keep on talking about them, everyone, that's the best thing you can do is keep tweeting and tagging the UFC, even if it's good or bad, man. That's all people are going to be talking about.
Like I said, Corey Anderson came out. He said he made in 2 fights more the same what he's made in 11 years. Yeah. If other fighters start saying, I'm going to go over to Bellator and make bank, if I can make more money fighting these guys over here, I'm going to go over.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
No, we're seeing it now. There is a nice evenly spread between the 3 majors, and hopefully the other ones can come up. So, yeah, I mean, but and that's the big thing about this podcast, why I like doing it. And I predominantly only speak with podcasts. I don't really like, people ask me, why don't I go to the advertiser, Channel 9? Because I personally don't want to be involved in that mainstream bullshit. Yeah. I like grassroots level stuff. That's how I live my life. I live in the same area that I always grew up in because I like the streets, man. I like to be on street level, man. And when you become a corporate, and you lose touch of everything that you stood for. So, look, on that note, we'll leave it there. Rick's got something to say.
This Saturday night, get to the Producers Bar.
Oh, yeah.
Subs World, Sav. He's doing a performance.
That's it, man.
He's got a concert.
Man.
So
it's going to
get
be
out
really
there.
good.
Doors open at 9.
Yeah.
So get out there. I'm not sure what time Sav's going to come on. He might,
Yeah, no, he's probably got about fucking 11 at night.
But then you got Young Jeeky warming up the crowd.
Yeah. So it's a big weekend. You got Young Jeeks at the Producers Bar, then followed by Subs World Live.
Yeah.
And then when are you guys playing? Pitbulls?
Pitbulls on Saturday. We've got the Cup.
Where?
At home, so Rezzies and A's only.
At Thomas More College. And then Sunday, Annalise is playing. I'll give her a shout out. She's playing at the Bar at 9 o'clock, I'm pretty sure. So if you're into Rihanna and stuff, totally different genre. If you like Rihanna and stuff, Annalise is playing at the Bar. And then also just a quick shout out to my guys at El Monte, always hooking me up with the stuff. Thank you guys for all the support. It's going to be a massive week of fights again. Yeah. I'm on the Usman bandwagon. You're on the Masvidal. And last thing, fuck the corporates, man. Yeah. Stay street level,
fuck big
dog.
Business.
Yeah.